Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the co-CEO of Bio, Leo Lago.
Our brand, Bio, is actually known as a homegrown fashion brand, and has been operating here in the Philippines for almost 30 years. We are proudly made in the Philippines, and when we say we are made in the Philippines, 100% of our goods are manufactured in our own facility, which includes even the printing of fabrics, the embroidery, and this is a really a fully integrated brand with even with our own logistics. We've always been proud of the heritage of being a Filipino not only in the way we do business, but also in the way even in the models that we choose. And recently, we have included sustainability as part of our the way of doing business. From a linear business model, we are now slowly transferring into a model that is akin to circularity. And we put up our own Bio Foundation to be our CSR arm, so that we can really conceptualize a blueprint of that circular pathway toward sustainability. And we aptly call it Journey to Zero initiative. We decided to be part of the solution. So we wanted to change our ways. But when did it start? It started about 10 to 12 years when a seemingly innocent comment from my daughter when she went to our manufacturing facility. She would ask us, what are you doing with those piles of excess fabrics that are accumulating in our facility every day? To be honest, on that day she asked that question, I was so ashamed, since I knew deep inside that I cannot answer the question truthfully. We were so busy putting up the business, and it seems that we were not taking care of the waste that we were producing. That was when we started vigorously researching on how to deal with our fabric waste, considering that the clothing industry ranked number 2 in one of the world's polluters. Right there and then, we discovered that the fabric waste that we produce amounted to 35% of the fabrics that we use. Imagine it means that 1/3 of our raw materials are being thrown out in the landfills. So that accelerated our campaign of Journey to Zero, which was conceived and adopted as our battle cry. All of these were accelerated maybe because of our membership with the UNGC, which has really accelerated our Journey to Zero program. We strongly call for an actionable change under the Sustainable Development Goals that were prescribed by the UNGC, in which Bio is a participant member. And within 2 years of being a member of GCNP, last year we were already awarded the most outstanding implementer of the SDGs among the MSMEs. As we move forward and accelerate the efforts of our Journey to Zero programs, we later discovered that community development works is closely intertwined with sustainability in order to attain a circularity of purpose. This is where we encountered the first weaving community that were immediately exposed. The first weaving community and we were immediately exposed to the plight of the industry. We purposely targeted these communities, mostly composed of unemployed women, in order to empower them to earn a decent livelihood without having to leave or sacrifice their roles in the family. We firmly believe that if we empower women and they gain financial independence, the direct beneficiary will be the family as a whole. The first community that we decided to assist were the weavers in Angat, Bulacan. So when we want to change and introduce innovations that would increase efficiency, production would increase and would in turn increase the take-home pay of weavers. It is our contention that if we want to save the weaving industry, we must first provide a decent living wage to the weavers. By improving efficiency, production output increased. And the weavers in Bulacan now are receiving salaries higher than the prescribed minimum wage in the area, and we now started paying for their government-mandated benefits. So using the same formula, we opened a weaving center in Pasig in collaboration with the local government unit. The city of Pasig vets the candidates who will undergo training, while the Bio Foundation provides for all the equipment, yarns, etc. In a nutshell, this is what we call our very own circular economy. We take care of all the process to ensure its sustainability. From the source of natural materials that will be turned into yarns, the yarns will then be delivered to the weaver communities to be turned into fabrics that will be eventually sold to the open market. Then the final process, which is to sweep up the waste it produces in our facility so that the same shall not anymore add to the landfills. It is very important that we have to intervene in the community work processes every step of the way in order that efficiency will be improved. Poor efficiency is the root cause of why their products are so expensive to begin with. We cannot just go on straight to the weavers and demand and impose on them that they lower the prices. We must help them in the thought process and improve the workflow so that when they become members of our value chain, they can keep up with the levels of efficiency that we require. The programs that we have started are but tiny ripples of development and can hardly make an impact in our industry. But what we have proven here is that what we are doing can give sustainable livelihood for the weavers. We can produce regenerative materials through cotton farming and sericulture, and we get to preserve our weaving heritage. All of these created activities, small as they may seem now, will now form part of an ecosystem that will result in a more sustainable fashion industry. But our task is not done. While you have several initiatives to use regenerative materials, such as natural fibers, the return to the soil without harming the environment, there's still about 5 to 10% of our fabrics that we throw in the landfill. We will leave no stone unturned as we fully close the loop by zeroing on our remaining textile waste. We now look at our waste not as a waste per se, but as a valuable resource that will open new revenue stream opportunities. I hope one day my other 13-year-old daughter will ask me again how we are disposing our trash in the facility. If that happens, it will be probably now my proudest moment to tell her that Bio has decided to make a stand to be part of the solution despite all odds. And I would regale her with the stories that I have told you today. The path to sustainability is not really easy. The quest to become a circular company is sometimes but an impossible dream. But despite the imperfections and the pains, specifically in our pocket, this will do nothing. This will all be nothing because by doing so, it makes our heart full. And sometimes a full heart is the only thing that matters.